This thing is uncomfortably large.
Hey everybody, Bam Collectibles here, back for another statue unboxing review for you. Kicking it off, the boxes do not have any special artwork, just straight brown shipper boxes. In comes the base. This bad boy is extremely heavy. On the bottom is a felt pad, and we'll see the logo mixture for MRC and Xceed. Two studios came together to create this statue many years ago. Because this was made many years ago, it's pretty bland and boring. It serves the purpose to support what's on top. On the very back side of it, we'll find this is the AC adapter, where it will power many different LEDs later. Upon initially inspecting, you'll see multiple different notches and holes all throughout here. Now, there's going to be to house LEDs that go shine through the top. We have that wire there in the center also. It's going to connect to another piece that has a bunch of other LEDs. But wow, out of all statues I think of unboxed, this has to be the heaviest base that I've seen, probably going on 35 to 40 pounds. That dang thing just attacked me. So all throughout the statue, we're going to see multiple different resin particles that are going to bring to life the base and what's going on here. This piece, as it is, looks odd, but as it comes together, it all makes sense. Up here is kind of a black AC adapter port. Now, I think it's supposed to plug into something on the bottom of the base, but I don't see that plug there anymore. I think there's LEDs inside, and it plugs into right over here in this section, but I don't see a plug that's supposed to come up out of there, so I'm not sure if it came damaged or broken, but there's enough LEDs to spread throughout the statue, so it doesn't even need that one. Here's the other part that also has a bunch of LEDs inside of it. There's crazy amounts of notches going in here. That's actually where chakra particle looking tails are going to be forming, as if, Kurama was going to be coming out the back side of it. Now, there's enough LEDs in there, just coming stock from the company, but if you wanted to add some custom LEDs, you could also stick some in there because it's such a wide gap, but that does have about 5 or 6 built into there. This is a really large notch that's going to be supporting something that's coming out from the very front of the statue. There's also these buffer pads that are on the edges to make sure that acrylic isn't rubbing up against acrylic, because it's very easy to damage it that way if that happens. We do have to get those two white connecting points together, and then it rests right into place. The interesting thing about this statue is there's not a lot of magnets that hold things together. There's just grooves and notches carved out to where things just fall right into place. This is the AC adapter cord that they did include as well. And here's an initial look at the LEDs, how they look, how it's going to illuminate. There is a lot going on here. As we connect more pieces, it will allow for the light to kind of transfer and glow into more areas as well. Here we have one of many large resin pieces included. Now, this is resembling that of one of the 9 tails that's forming behind the statue. There's a notch. We have those buffers on the side point. And to show off another one, here it is. This section is a little smooth on the side because it's going to rest up against something. And thankfully, because of the way that it's engineered, it isn't going to rub or scrape. It just completely just rests up. Gravity holds it right into place. That is another thing about this statue that's different, is a lot of the pieces rely on other pieces to hold it up and keep it secure into place. I would highly recommend putting it together very similar to how I'm doing it here, because that's kind of what I had to do, is I had to build it all together, figure it out, and then reverse engineer it and install a certain way so that everything does flow together. As you can see, pretty much all the tails are going to be represented in this statue, some longer than others and some are going to be shorter than others, but nonetheless, there's going to be all those tails represented and some few other effect pieces. Here is one that's going to be sculpted with a steel rod on the bottom. Sometimes they do that for these larger pieces. Again, that smoother section there, and there's the rod that's going to sit into the bottom of the base. Those really brace things together, and they need that extra support to be sure it does stay into place. And while everybody knows I'm a sucker for clear resin, it's nice to break things up when you have this much of it. Here's a more organic feeling piece. We have the 9 tails, or the Kyuubi's hand coming in here. Really huge size, right? So that notch on there is going to allow it to connect to the base. And then we can take a look at the paint shading that they did. Really fantastic all throughout. And the fur texturing did nice as well. Zooming in, we can see those claws, fangs, fingernails, whatever you want to call them. Nice pure white texture with a little bit of kind of a black shading towards the base of it. With that side pretty much taken care of, we're going to go and slide this over. Thank goodness for little pads on the bottom of this thing that allows it to slide easy, because dang if that thing ain't heavy like I showed you before. So we'll get most of these other ones into place, and then I'll showcase as well, not too much, but we have the other hand over here that's going to be sculpted. It's in a little bit of a different positioning, right? See, that one's a little bit more open, while this one is like kind of tightly gripping the base itself. With that hand going in, we do only have 2 more pieces as well to install, and that's pretty much it for the chakra effects that they have going on. See, these are more effect pieces, not actual representations of the tails, but it does help overall to kind of give it a nice dynamic feel. And here is the unofficial mascot of the channel. We have baby Kurama coming in here. He is so stinking cute, but nothing stays cute forever. Here is the grown-up version of just his head, because he is a huge being, so you couldn't sculpt everything together. These ears are massive. Look how long those things are. Great paint application all throughout. We can see the eyes also. They did a fantastic job. Look extremely menacing. Always that nice red tone to it. His teeth, right? They look so... This statue, you know, I've seen many versions of this in statue forms, but this one is probably the most anime accurate feeling version of him in a statue form that I've seen. All those crinkling in the nose too. You can see how angry he is. You know, honestly, that's how we knew him for most of the series, is just being an angry individual. But thankfully during this time, he's kind of more partnered up and learning to be one with Naruto. It's pretty tricky to get it right in there into position, but once you do, it rests up against that large notch with the buffers. I love how it's kind of coming to life and coming, you know, almost forming around that chakra in the back. In my 2021 collection video, I said this about baby Kurama. For those that might be new to the channel, baby Kurama is like the unofficial mascot. I would love to get a plushie of baby Kurama one day. That would be incredible, but I don't have the skills to do that. And here we are about a few months later, and guess what? That is right, baby Kurama has come to life right here in person. He's so cute and squishy. I got contacted by somebody that lives in the UK, and they make custom plushies. And sorry, I gotta get my little bit of pug hair. There's always pug hair somewhere with my dang little pug. But we can see here we have all 9 tails. I don't know how you do that. I don't even know how you custom make a plushie like this. Like, how do you know what to sew and how to sew it? And then we have the legs here. The material used is nice and soft. Again, super cool how they did this. But they reached out to me on Instagram and asked if this is something, you know, I would like this to see done, and they do it for me. And they agreed to, and it was awesome. Such an amazing gift that they did. And if that's not enough, right, we have another one. They sculpted a little Pakun here as well. They know that I'm partial to him because of my pug, but super cool how they did this. What a talented individual to be able to bring this to life. I could never do something like this. I love it. It was such a pleasant surprise. Not only that, they also sent me some nice goodies that they don't really sell in the United States, and so I got to taste some fun little treats. So again, thank you so much. They go by the name of C&L on Instagram, or at Disney C&L. I really appreciate this kind gesture. Such an amazing thing to share with everyone on the channel. Jumping back in, we can see Naruto's legs here. Now this is him in his Kurama mode, so this is more when he is fully synchronized with him. He's learned his name and all the powers beginning to flow through him. I love the little effects that are going on with the legs. The shading also with the oranges and yellows look great. The nice black strip, or you know, black lines that are going down the pants, that's really cleanly done as well. And if you didn't see, there was that large notch on the bottom. Here's one in the top as well. It looks a little beat up, but this is actually how it came. It's covered up for the most part when we attach the rest of the body, so you don't even have to worry about that. While the bottom half is just legs and kind of boring and bland, the top surely makes up for it. So let's talk about the cloak on this bad boy. Crazy how they did this one, right? So we have the magnet inside that's going to connect it to the waist, and all those paint jobs are great. I love that circle in the center where his stomach section is. Those are little notches carved out where the hands are going to go. And then just kind of similar paint job to we had on the legs there. Love how that flame and chakra particles look like they're flowing around. And then, man, if we look at the cloak, it's crazy how it's all tattered and worn, just like it was in the show, right? It had the same similar look to it, but really cool to see this in real life. The black tones on the bottom, even though they're just black, I love that it kind of went for a little bit of a shine or shimmer to it, kind of a mild gloss, and really clean paint jobs when we come to the actual outfit, or the center part of that outfit. Probably out of all the pieces that they sculpted throughout, this has got to be my favorite. Probably the one that took the most time and attention and detail, making it 100% accurate. For the portrait or the head sculpt, they gave you 2 different options here. So we have the more natural skin tone, the way that yellow. So we'll take a look at this one up close here. I gotta say, probably the only thing that maybe could have been done a little bit better is the eyes. The eyes are kind of looking downward, so they're a little bit deceiving when you're looking at it straight on. It's almost not fair to look at him that way, because the way that he is kind of pictured in the statue, he is looking a little bit downward. We have that notch in the back where the headband piece is going to go, and here's the other head. So, you know, I really honestly haven't even decided which skin tone I like best over the other one. I will display them both together on the statue so that you can see how it looks and kind of make the decision for yourself. Here's that headband piece that was sculpted. They only gave you one of these, so of course you're going to kind of switch it between the 2 if you need to, depending upon which one you're going to put on the statue. And with that on, we'll go ahead and get this installed into place. Like I mentioned, there's a magnet at the very bottom of that neck joint, so it pops in. We'll see how this head looks, and then we'll see how the other one looks as well. And there you go for those two. Sculpted also, we have different hands. Now, of course, just like the face, right, they didn't just give you yellow ones, so we have this variation of it. And then there's this one right here, kind of a different version of that for the hand, but they also gave you those variants in having the skin tone texture as well. So with those in place, you gotta let me know which one do you prefer over this one. Do you like this yellow toned or the skin tone as well? So that is how they look. Again, he is looking a little bit more downwards, so that's why his eyes are in the position they are. MRC or Xceed did give you this C of A looking type thing as well. It's kind of a card that's captured inside of this protecting little plastic acrylic case. It actually is kind of stuck in there with a screw. You'd have to unscrew it in order to take it out if it's something you wanted to, but I'd gladly leave it in there to protect it. Yo, the LEDs bring it to a whole new level, capturing that moment when Naruto became one with Kurama and really kind of it pulls out the power that's involved in that moment. Now here's the original artwork that it was based off of here to the right side, and you can take a look at that. Again, we have our plushie Baby Kurama and our original Baby Kurama over here. Thank you again for that, CNL. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed your time today. I always love showcasing these statues for you amazing people. I will see you in the next video. As always, do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.